perfect. And so we know based upon our sample sizes and the different work that we have completed that we can give you a good opinion in this matter. The next page I'm going to take a look at is page number 29. So it should be, I think, page number 33 on there. On page 29, as you turn there, you'll see that this is essentially the income statement for the year for the district. And I want to pay attention to the far left column, which is your general fund, your main operating fund of the district. You'll see there at the top left that you had total revenues of $25 million. As you make your way down toward the bottom of the page, you see that you had total expenditures of just under $24 million, which resulted in an ending fund balance of $5.5 million there at the very bottom left of the page. One of the things that we look at is we compare an ending fund balance to determine, we compare it to your total expenditures for the year to determine how many months of expenditure do you have in your fund balance. The TEA would recommend that you have between 2 and 3 months worth of expenditures in your fund balance. In this case, when you do the calculation, you're right in that recommended range. And so that again is good news for the district, and I would encourage you to keep a close eye on your finances, simply from the fact that you never know what happens with school finance in the state of Texas. And so continue to watch that closely. The last page I want to take a look at is toward the back of your report, and it's on page number 87. So if you turn to page number 97, 91. Actually, let's take that back. Go back 2 pages. Go back to page number 85. So it'll be 89 on there. And what you'll see here is this is our this is a schedule of finding and question costs. This is the summary of audit results as it relates to the different things that we looked at as your auditor. And one of the things that we're required to do by the federal government and the TEA is that we have to go in and assess the number of federal programs that you have spent money on and determine which programs are we going to look at this year and do some additional compliance testing, as well as making sure that you followed all the requirements related to those programs. And if you'll notice there under number 7, there were 2 programs that we looked at this year for Title I and child nutrition. And so as it relates to those, you'll find in items of 1 through 6 that we had no findings related to those 2 programs, that we're again giving you a very clean opinion in that regard, and so that we did not note any significant deficiencies or material weaknesses in that regard. And again, that would be good news for the district. The rest of the report has been updated for current year information. If there are any questions related to any of the pages, I'd be happy to do my best to answer those. Otherwise, we did most certainly appreciate working with Tim and Trish to do an excellent job in terms of compiling the information and getting us clean information to audit.
And would you speak to page 47, please, of the round document?
If you turn to page 51 on there. So what you have here on page number 47 is what we call debt service schedule. It's all of your debt combined into the next 5 years of debt service requirements, as well as 5-year increments thereafter. And so if you see that we're noting both the bonds and the notes that the district has there on page number 47. And I believe one of the things that could be confusing that I know that Tim asked about previously as well was that the QZAB bonds or notes, however they're appropriately stated, have been combined within your notes debt service schedule there, which is the second one down. One of the unique things about QZAB is that they require you to make a payment into an escrow account to ensure that when it comes time for that balloon payment that's due at the end of that period, that you have the funds ready and available to make that balloon payment. And so it factored into these schedules is I believe it's a monthly payment or a quarterly payment, I can't remember which.
Annual.
It's an annual payment that you're required to make. It's been encompassed into these notes, into these schedules, to ensure that you have kind of a full transparency recording here for the district. It can be kind of confusing, but essentially you're making a payment into an escrow account that is outside of your hands, outside of the district's hands, as required by the debt covenants, and you are therefore then making a payment at the time it becomes due, I believe 2021, and it will ensure that you have, 1, enough money to make the payment, and 2, that it's there and ready and available to make it at the time it's due.
So the long-term debt on page 46, these are each of the different types of notes that the district has
Yes, sir.
listed. Okay.
So if you go back one page there,
All the payments are shown here as reductions in those notes. But what you're saying is that this QZAB note payment is actually into an escrow account, it's not directly to the bond itself.
that is correct. And so the escrow, so you're making that payment into the escrow account. We're accounting it as a reduction of the QZAB, knowing that at the time that that balloon payment comes due, essentially it will all be paid off at that time.
Any other questions?
One thing to just note while you're on page number 46 right there, if you go down to the bottom of that page, it is very interesting to see in terms of that you sold 2 refunding bonds during the year, which means you essentially refinanced some debt. And it's pretty cool to see how much you saved in that refinancing aspect. If you look at the very last sentence of page number 46, you'll see that you saved essentially $3.3 million, $3.2 million related to one of the bond sales and $2.3 million related to the other bond sale. And so as a result of that refinancing, you saved the district over $5 million in basically cost to the district. And so it was a significant savings that you were able to do because of that refinancing.
Do you know how long your company has been the auditor for the district?
Well, in
How many
the,
years?
I think in the period of time that the district has had our firm, there's been a transition in terms of our firm merged with Mr. Pacek. I don't recall how long Mr. Pacek had the firm, but I know that our office has been specifically working on the district for the last, I think, 4 or 5 years.
Any other questions from the board? Any comments from the audit? Are we prepared to accept this audit report? Okay. A motion to approve? Motion by Mr. Nichols. Second was Mr. Goodman. Okay. Any questions or comments on that motion? All in favor of that motion signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, no. Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you. That is the superintendent's evaluation. This is a closed meeting item under Personnel, Texas Government Code, Section 551.074. There will be no voting take place during closed session. Any action the board wishes to take will take place once we return to open session. So, at this time, we'll go into closed session for the superintendent's evaluation.